What's up everybody and welcome back to the 263 Collective on YouTube. Today's video is one that I should have done right from the gun. It's going to be really useful for you guys. As many of you probably know if you already own the Glowforge, this thing is loud. I know that for me, that volume was not something that I wanted to live with. So from the gun, I went ahead and did the secret volume modification to the Glowforge. So when I say volume modification, what am I talking about? In this case, I'm actually talking about ventilation. The built-in fan on the Glowforge sounds closer to a vacuum than anything else. So the way to turn the volume down on that is to run an external fan. What we're going to do today is talk through our ventilation setup that we run on the Glowforge and how that helps to keep the machine running not only more quietly, but also cleaner. Now, one of the first things you're going to notice is that we have moved the laser. We brought it inside, and that is because of temperature. The Glowforge, as you know if you've done your research, has an operating temperature threshold. The lower bound of that is about 55 degrees, and it is getting cold out. So what we needed to do is go ahead and bring the laser inside. Now, in this video, what we're going to focus on is this external fan right here, and then this window vent. So the first thing we're going to talk about is this fan. It's made by a company called TerraBloom, and the model is the ECMF 100. I'll go ahead and throw a link in the description below. This is a simple fan with a 4-inch inlet and a 4-inch outlet, along with a little remote dial here that allows you to turn it on and off. This guy is going to be a more than adequate replacement for the built-in fan in the laser. Now, it runs, like I said, 4-inch ducting, so we're going to run that ducting from the back of the machine to the fan here, and then from the fan to our final exhaust. Now, in the garage, when I had this set up, what I was doing is venting it just out under the garage door. Because we're in here, you can't really just do that, so what I've done is bought a window vent. I'm gonna go ahead and install the window vent just so you can see what it looks like, and then we'll keep on going from there. All right, guys, so I've got you on the chesty now. Before we actually get this installed, I want to make note of one thing, and that is that I had to remove my window screen in order for this specific window vent to work. The reason for that is that it's got this little downspout right here, and it's just not going to clear with my window. So with that, we can go ahead and open up here. This particular vent just has arms that extend. It'll allow me to set it here in the window, expand it to the correct width, and then pull the window down. It does leave a small gap on either side, but now I've got the window closed. There's not really much draft, and the fan can vent directly to the outside. When I'm done, all I'm going to do is lift the window back up, pull this inside, shut it, and I'm good. I have no problem in my house leaving this sitting on the windowsill, so that's generally what I'll do. Now that we've talked about what I'm doing currently, I want to talk about a mistake that I made with ventilation in the past. When I initially started, a lot of what I was burning smelled really bad, and there was a lot of just visible smoke, and I wanted a way to kind of cut down on that because I was venting to the outside and didn't want to bother my neighbors. What I did is ended up purchasing a carbon filter from the same company that made the external fan, and I hooked my outgoing exhaust up to it. It was great at first, but what I found is that the filter very quickly clogged. I didn't realize because it happened over the course of a couple weeks, but it eventually got to the point that even with the fan running at full power, pretty much no smoke was getting evacuated out of the Glowforge. If you've had your Glowforge for a little bit and you've used it, you know that smoke in the beam is a major issue when it comes to cutting. So I was having a bunch of cuts get ruined, just excessive amounts of disgusting gunk building up inside the laser, inside my ducting, on the fan. And eventually I figured out what I had done wrong and I pulled the carbon filter off. This solved the immediate problem, but what then happened over the next few days is that all of that gunk kind of calcified and bogged everything down even worse. So what I ended up having to do was take everything apart, get the Novec degreaser that Glowforge recommends you use, It's made by 3M. It's a special non-flammable electronics degreaser that you've got to order. It's $50 a can. So really didn't like doing that. And I ended up using about the entire can to get rid of all of the gunk that was built up on my fans. It also built up all over the laser inside, but that was a little bit easier to get rid of. Now, just because I had a suboptimal experience with filtration doesn't mean that you shouldn't filter. It just means that you should filter the right way. So Glowforge makes their standalone filter that you can use if you're venting, if you don't have a place to vent your laser outside, but make sure that you are using something that is right for the device. I didn't want to spend the money on the filter, but I also wanted to kind of compensate. It bit me in the butt. Now, as I mentioned before, the external fan is extremely quiet. This one, I can't recommend it enough, honestly. It's been great for me, and like I said, I'm going to drop a link in the description for you guys so you can buy it as well. Even now that the Glowforge has moved inside, running it and the fan simultaneously is really quiet. I can run it while my wife is sleeping. I'm downstairs and she's upstairs, and there are zero issues, so I can't recommend this setup enough. That's going to do it for today. It's a really brief one, so I hope that this was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to drop them in the comments below. If you find these videos helpful, please throw us a like and maybe consider subscribing as well. Going to keep the content like this flowing. Y'all's ideas have helped generate a few videos already, so let us know what you want to see next and we'll make it happen. As always, guys, have a great one, and you get what you earn.